And it continues. All right, let's see what we have today. So you're elevating your, it looks like either you have already or you will, if the time comes, connect with what we call demons, the dark entities. They're not really dark, honest to God. It's all part of source, right? So there's no like separation when it comes to the source. It only in our mind things separate, right? But you're accessing that thing, that side of your guides that you were maybe afraid of, right? Also, it looks like you will be either visiting cemeteries or or visiting cemeteries. I don't know, maybe you're going to bring some flowers or light some candles to your ancestors, but it looks like that's what's happening here. And the dark aspect is leading you to that side, like to connect with death. Look, be very careful not to miss this part. Because what we have here is that once you enter into the union and friendship and accept, let's say in other words, accept with the dark side, but accept the dark side into your life, right? Whatever we call demon. You don't need to be demonologist. I don't believe in any of those things, but everyone needs to go by their own belief. In my mind's eye, I don't think that just because someone called Baal, that's his name. Or if some Baal told someone that his name is Baal, that's his name. These are very evolved, mischievous creatures. You can't expect them to tell you the truth. They're here to guide you. So let's say if the light energies, whatever you call angels, right, sort of like gently push you to the side, and if you don't move, then they come around and they sort of like there to hit you over the head and spank you and push you and kick you in the butt if you don't move forward. So right, there's like the balance, right? So if you move, you'll be fine, but if you don't move, they'll make you move. So it's like they're like correctional officers in prison that we're in. So once you enter this state of making friends with them, right? They will what will happen is they will shift you from sacrificial lamb to like state of Sophia, right? So you will go from a wounded person who sacrifices their life and gives and is always crucified, right? Like this freaking state to that. This is where you're going into, right? So because why? Because you have accepted what we call the light side, right? One polarity of God, and now that you accepted the other polarity of God, then you naturally become elevated, right? Because if you're only tilted to one side, then you're being crucified, right? Crucified by this guy here, right? Because you're not accepting it. So you're being crucified by that which you're not accepting it, right? So let's say your right brain, right? And then your left brain will be nagging on your right brain. But once both are in unison, right? Then you're sort of thinking in the middle, right? So you're like a observer in the midst of the conversation between you two hemispheres. Arguing or debating something, right? Observer, detached observer. This whole process is going to stimulate your second chakra, which has to do with material, anything material, right? So sexuality, finances, health, anything, youth. So it will stimulate it. So it will break open. So what we have here is your ancestors, right? So those who are diseased, I don't like this word, but anyway, those who passed away or transformed, right, to a new realm, right? Those who, what we say, died, because nothing really dies, it just transforms. So those who transformed, I'll tell you to be like a buffoon, right? Be goofy, be silly, don't mind who says what about you. Don't worry about judgment. Don't be afraid of being mocked. Do not be ashamed. Like, let go of shame. Don't be afraid of being thought of crazy. Be crazy. Be like the fool, right? Go with the sound, like in your head. Follow the sound in your head. Let this energy, right? Let this energy be stimulated through your base chakra. So be carnal. So they're asking you right now to be carnal, right? Maybe if you haven't had sex in a long time, go ahead and do it. Maybe you've been celibate. It's time to break it. I'm not here to tell you to eat meat, right? I'd rather tell you not to. But maybe if just this is for a short period of time, as I'm understanding, this is an experience that you need to go through to come through a full cycle, right? Like your experience that you are going through right now needs to come to full circle. Cycle needs to be completed, right? And for this cycle to be completed, you need to end where you started. So let's say you were not eating, I don't know, I still don't want to say meat. You were not eating, I don't know, let's say boiled vegetables. So maybe you need to like get to the point where you eat boiled vegetables, or you were not having sex and you're abstinent, and then now you're like celibate, and now you need to celebrate again, right? Not celebrate, but celebrate. So you're just gonna go in and it will do what? Give me a second because this is very interesting. When you do that which you gave up, right, for a purpose and a reason, and it served the purpose. I don't know how long you have been going. Well, let's say a year or two, and then you have gotten used to it. It's almost like we do forget, because it's been a while and a time ago. What was the feeling that we felt when we started doing it? And now that we're so far away, right? We've gone so long and so far into our new us, right? We cannot really remember the emotional aspect and the physical and psychological and emotional and spiritual aspects of what we felt like when we were doing that which we gave up. So it will hurt you immensely. It will hurt you immensely. Like it will be like slicing. You're going against yourself to do this. But for you to soften up. So right now what we're doing is we're like softening ourselves up, right? Because remember how I was saying in my other readings, what they're asking right now is not to respond. For you not to respond, you need to soften up. You need to employ your omega aspect, right? Because we've already employed our alpha aspect, which is attack, defend, don't take shit, don't back down, be greedy, don't give up. So right now we need to hurt you. We need to hurt you for you to untie yourself. So you still have your feminine aspect trapped. She's trapped inside of you. You need to unleash that. When this is the only way to do it. Full circle, right? We're doing the full circle, going back to where we started, like revisiting it, not just going back, revisiting, so that we can access the emotional aspect of where we were at from the perspective of where we are now, right? Because the way you see things in a year from when you made a choice to give up something or change something is different because you have changed. Now, I'm not saying that that has to do with everything. Please do understand if there's any controlled substance has been used, do not touch that. That means you have to revisit the emotional aspect of it in such a way where you do not abuse yourself. I'm saying vegetables, right? I'm saying if you have to, I'm not even saying go eat meat because I don't think eating animals is a good thing. I do not freaking think we're allowed, and I've eaten meat all my life. I was like a beef tartare baby, like raw beef. And one day I just woke up and I couldn't stand the smell of it. But now I tried it. I was in an environment where there was nothing else for me to eat and I had to eat something. So I did eat it. Guess what? I had nightmares and the emotions popped in. And I have forgotten how it felt. Actually, it was a new way of seeing things. Of how disgusting it is to murder when you don't have to. Look, if we were in an age of hunting for food, I wouldn't squeak a word, right? Where you didn't have shoes and you had to like skin an animal to make yourself some warm boots when you're in a freezing cold. That's a different story, right? Even then, there's a way to do it. But you can buy food in a grocery store and you still kill. and you're like, you're telling me that you're evolved? No, that's not how it is. Anyway, soften up. But my point is there. I went there and I felt awful. It was a terrible. It was guilt beyond the guilt that I felt. The guilt that I thought that I felt in my life was nothing in comparison to what I felt because it was my choice that I broke. Pain. Setting your hoochie mama free. And then that's when the holy matrimony happens, like of masculine and feminine here, right? They unite. But it's not happening right now, just yet. Now, when the masculine and feminine combine together, you yourself, right? You yourself are going to start healing yourself. So we got the card of the doctor, right? You yourself are going to start healing yourself, but from inside out, right? So you're going to go into your mind, right? And you will have access to that vision and knowledge when you unite. Make a man like a woman and a woman like a man. If the Christians come here and then they tell me that I'm preaching bullshit, but like that's what Jesus said. So make a man like a woman and a woman like a man. And when you do make them as one, and you make them as one with your Kundalini energy, right? So up the spine energy, make them as one, right and left hemisphere, sun and the moon, the fire, energy going up. This is what will happen. Okay, give me a second. This is what will happen. You will have, I messed up the cards. No, I didn't. You will have access to whole new knowledge inside of you, within yourself, to heal yourself, right? So you can heal your mind without a therapist. You can heal your body without a doctor. So all those things that have been forgotten, you would just like take yourself and you'll be able to heal yourself. And that comes with, right, because when you enter the masculine and the feminine united, what naturally happens that, bio-robot side of you, right? So like a walking dead, a robot, like a sheep, not even black one, that goes by time and space and information and follows things and like a herd. That non-creative side of you. You might think you're creative, but no, you were, this is what you were. That side of you, the robot side of you, right, is going to be boiled, right? Completely boiled, cooked. So the trinity that you thought you were is going to be completely boiled, and guess what? In the fire that comes from the union, right, of two hemispheres of your mind. And then the ascension happens naturally. So you break out of the shell, the prison that you're in, the prism that you're in, the prism, right? And we enter the state of, see, look, you're all that, right? Your God state. So this is you going up, right, to the sun, just to find out that you are the sun. or sUn.